Hello, I'm Laurie Townsend from the UBC School of Music. Welcome to Tuning In, Tuning Up, our companion conversations to our Wednesday Noon Hour series, where we invite local professional listeners to share some of their tips. Today, mezzo-soprano Krisztina Szabo, the school's newest voice faculty member, is our guest. She has come to us with expertise as an educator and as an artist performing a vast array of music, big staged operas and intimate recitals. She performs the Baroque ensembles, classical and romantic masters of the music canon, experimental new works, and she champions Canadian composers too. Welcome, Krisztina.
Thank you for having me.
So great to have you. So you'll be giving your UBC debut recital here this season, which is awesome, and I'm really delighted to chat with you a bit in advance. So today's talk is a companion to the concert with soprano Brittany Ray, this year's winner of the Eckhardt-Gramatté Competition. The E-Gray celebrates new music and always commissions a new work by a Canadian composer for each competition. I understand that you were a juror of this competition a few years ago, so I'm curious, what do you listen for in a voice competition like the Eckhardt-Gramatté versus a voice competition not specific to contemporary music?
Well, I was fortunate enough to adjudicate the Eckhardt-Gramatté the last time they did the voice competition, which was in 2017. And that year on the panel was John Hess, who's a former professor, pianist, and an expert in contemporary Canadian works. And the other adjudicator was Nicole Lizet. And as you said, Eckhardt-Gramatté commissions a new work for the competition each year. And that year, Nicole was actually the composer for the piece. So she was not only the adjudicator, but she was the composer. So we had a unique adjudicator on that panel. So some of the things that we as adjudicators looked for on the Eckhardt are the same things you would look for in another competition. We're looking certainly for the singer to have a healthy vocal production. We're looking for musicality, their personality, good diction, a good sense of storytelling. What is specific to the Eckhardt-Gramatté is that we are looking for effective programming. So the rules state that the music for the Eckhardt has to be selected, it has to all be written after 1950, and 50% of it has to be Canadian. And the first round is half an hour and the second round is an hour. So those three criteria alone can prove challenging for some singers. So programming is key, and the program should reflect their strengths, musicianship certainly, emotional range, understanding of the repertoire, imagination, and technical virtuosity. Does the music they select just fulfill the requirements, or has the singer really done some good research into what is new and innovative? How does a singer put that repertoire into an effective program? Is it balanced? Does it have shape? Does it have contrast? And specifically in the Eckhardt, how well does that singer perform the set commissioned piece? Have they made it uniquely their own, and so that it stands out from other competitors? And the year that I was there, Nicole's piece actually had a video element. So there was technology involved. So how did they use that technology in that piece? Because they had to interact with a video in that commissioned piece. It was very cool and unique challenge. So we are looking for a number of those things.
And then for a competition that's not specific, you were talking about all sorts of elements of voice production and all of that. Was there anything else in there?
It depends on the competition, obviously. So they have their own parameters. Do they have good contrast in, we have a romantic, Baroque, classical, the languages? That's less of a consideration for the Eckhardt, because with Canadian composition, certainly it's primarily English, French, a smattering of German. Anna Sokolovic also, we'll have some Serbian in there as well, but less with the languages. So we're looking for diction specifically in those languages when you're doing a non-contemporary competition. So, but a lot of the same things, just less specific to contemporary.
Thanks for that extra bit. So in COVID, the format for voice competitions, as for all competitions, has had to pivot to an online format. Does this change what you're looking for and listening for?
I think with this, with COVID, there are unique challenges, but using the video format, I think, is an exciting opportunity. So I would be looking, if I was an adjudicator, I would be looking for a singer that has embraced this technology, has embraced this new challenge. Did they stand and deliver as if it were a live concert, or were they able to set each work uniquely in a visual way as well to bring it to life in this new video format? For example, did they use costume changes? Did they stage the work if it was appropriate to do so? Did they incorporate the camera into the process as if it were a third performer? Did they play with angles? Did they play with lighting? Did they make it almost a cinematic experience? Because it could be actually quite thrilling to have that. And certainly we wouldn't have that in a live performance. So that I'm looking for a singer that is embracing this new challenge and making it their own.
As a voice teacher, what do you bring to your listening in a voice competition?
Well, as a voice teacher and as a singer, I feel like I bring the perspective of process to my listening. I know the repertoire, I've taught it, I may have sung it myself. I know where the challenges lie. I know where the pitfalls are. I know how much time goes into the entire process and what the process looks like for a singer. So I'm listening for a singer who handles themselves in these challenges that the repertoire presents to them. And I also realized that a competition is just a snapshot into a singer's lifelong process of singing. So some of the things that might be an issue on hearing it today might be on the road to being solved, next week. And in a year's time would sound completely different. So having said that, I still have to look at the snapshot as it is delivered to me on that day. So I look for how developed that singer's technique is on that day. How is their tuning? How is their diction? How is their general performance, storytelling, emotional engagement in the text, all the usual things. With contemporary music, a singer is asked to be more experimental vocally. So if it is something like the Eckhardt-Gramatté, I would be looking for a singer that is willing to take risks vocally, but able to do it in a healthy way. Because contemporary music, you have to use more vocal colors than you would, say, with Mozart, Handel, or Puccini. So a singer that is willing to take risks is quite exciting in a contemporary music competition.
And when you are adjudicating, I've been asking people for the magic in performances. So I'm wondering, have you ever had a moment when you just knew a young artist could have a big career ahead and would touch audiences deeply, far and wide?
Well, if you're asking me if I've, witnessed the next Joyce DiDonato, I'm not sure that I have, but but there have been many moments when I hear young singers in a competition, I think, wow, that is a world-class instrument, and wow, that person has something really unique to say. I'm most excited when a singer is able to move me as an audience member, when their technique and musicality and emotion all come together to make this, magical moment. When we adjudicated the Eckhardt the last time, the winner was Alexandra Smither. And what was really exciting about Ali was that you could feel her passion for contemporary music in the way she programmed, in the way she performed it. And that was really exciting. And it's been exciting to know that I think we selected the right person. She's gone on to not only, she's singing Up a Storm, but she's also created her own music collective, and they are commissioning works. And she's very active in the contemporary music field. So I think we definitely picked the right person.
Well, that's great. It must be wonderful to see the satisfaction, afterwards, see them a year or two later and how they've blossomed and
Absolutely.
all of that. So Krisztina, I've so enjoyed this time with you, looking behind the scenes of competitions. Thank you for these insights and these listening tips.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. This was really fun.
Great. And thank you to everyone who has been tuning in. Until next time.